Your imagination won't even finish the sentence before betrayal is already behind you, wearing the smile of someone you love. Some people lose everything in a single night, not because of accidents, not because of mistakes, but because of those they trusted completely. A mother who, instead of protecting you, becomes the director of your downfall. A brother who quietly tries your life on for size while you're out building it. A woman you come home to through exhaustion and concrete, who chooses the shorter path. But when everything collapses, not everyone burns. Some rise, not to forgive, but to restore balance, coldly, methodically, irrevocably. Sometimes strength isn't muscle, it's precision, not a scream, but the silence before impact. And in that silence, what begins isn't revenge, it's reckoning. Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, as every like truly inspires me. Please tell me which city and country you watch this video from. Now, let's get started. My name is Samuel, I'm 34, and up until not long ago, I was convinced that my life was moving in the right direction. I held a reliable job, clocking in anywhere from 50 to 60 hours each week, and spent the rest of my time mapping out a future with my fiancée, Lauren, who was 28 then. We'd been together for a couple of years, engaged for half of one, and I honestly believed we were smoothly headed toward a picture-perfect wedding. Then there was my mom, Nora, 55, loud, intense, and constantly inserting herself where she didn't belong. As a kid, I never second-guessed her behavior. I assumed that's just how moms were wired. But with time, it became clear that her affection always came with conditions, and a grip that felt more suffocating than supportive. My younger brother Wyatt, 29, worked as a personal trainer. He was deeply invested in his appearance and took no small amount of pride in it. Mom doted on him endlessly. "He's got so much potential," she'd say, beaming. "Look at those muscles. Now that's a real man, not like some others I know." She'd always laugh as if she were joking, but something in her tone made me wonder if she actually meant every word. Over time, her little digs began to eat away at me. While she praised Wyatt's physical strength, she'd slip in backhanded comments about me being, just like your father, married to his job, always absent. In the early stages, Lauren and I were doing well. Sure, we had our disagreements like any couple, but we shared the same vision. A warm home, maybe a couple of kids, and a life built from scratch, together. She worked as a teacher's aide, gentle, soft-spoken, and sweet. She'd even doodle tiny hearts on the corners of her lesson plans. Things didn't feel off until Mom began making odd remarks in front of Lauren, usually about Wyatt. I remember one particular evening, maybe 2 months before everything fell apart, we were all gathered for dinner. Out of nowhere, Mom turned to Lauren and spoke like I wasn't even sitting at the table. "Wyatt's been hitting the gym hard these days," she said, swirling her wine. "Have you noticed those arms? He looks like a sculpture from ancient Greece, and he's always there when someone needs a hand. Sometimes, a woman just needs that kind of strength in her life." Lauren offered a polite, unsure smile and said, "Yeah, I guess he's in good shape." I shot Mom a look. Could we not discuss Wyatt's body during dinner? She gave a casual shrug, her lips curling into a smug grin. "I'm just pointing out the obvious, sweetheart. No need to get defensive." It seemed like nothing at the time, but that moment stuck with me. It was the first time I realized Mom was subtly shifting Lauren's attention, redirecting it away from me and toward my brother. Soon after, work became even more demanding. I lead a small construction crew, and we were slammed with back-to-back major projects. I'd leave before sunrise and return long after dark. Lauren and I barely crossed paths, grabbing quick dinners together or maybe lounging around on the occasional lazy Sunday. But I started to notice changes in her. She seemed distracted, distant. Her phone kept lighting up with messages, and each time, she'd give this small, unreadable smile. "Just chatting with a friend from work," she'd say whenever I asked. "Don't go all jealous on me." I'm not jealous, I'd respond. It just feels like you're glued to that phone lately. She'd casually angle the screen away and mutter, "It's nothing, just wedding stuff stressing me out." That was the first time a quiet doubt settled in. Still, I let it go. I chalked it up to wedding nerves. Meanwhile, Mom was getting bolder. Her passive jabs turned into outright manipulation, especially when she got Lauren alone, at gatherings, or when they were working on the wedding. Even my dad, who spent most of his life nodding along with whatever Mom says, tried to offer me a quiet warning. "You know how your mother is," he said, brushing his thinning hair back. "She means well, she just has strong opinions." Strong barely scratched the surface. She wanted control over everything, how I dressed, how I budgeted, how much time I spent at work. And through it all, Wyatt remained her ideal son, her paragon of manhood. After visits with Mom, Lauren would come home tense and withdrawn. She'd avoid eye contact, chew on her lip, and often vanish into the bedroom for hours to watch shows or sit alone. I didn't push her. Maybe I should have. But I kept telling myself all couples hit rough spots. Then came the day everything crumbled. I finished early at work, a rare occurrence, and thought I'd drop by Mom's house. She and Lauren were supposed to be going over some last-minute wedding details. I pulled into the driveway, my truck rattling as usual, and headed to the door. One of the windows in the living room was cracked open, and I heard voices inside. Mom's voice rang out, clear and sharp. "Lauren, Samuel's just like his father. He'll always put work before you. He won't be there when it matters. You need someone dependable, someone who sees you. Honestly, Wyatt's that man." My chest tightened. I froze in place. Then I heard Lauren respond, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know Samuel works hard. It's just, sometimes I feel alone, Nora. And yeah, Wyatt sent me a few messages, but I swear it's not—" Mom cut her off. "You don't have to feel guilty, darling. Wyatt's exactly what you've been missing. Let's stop pretending Samuel can give you the kind of passion or attention you need. I'm only telling you this because I care. I've seen the way he's drifted." She kept going, relentless. "He's always gone. Wyatt's right here. That's the kind of man you need, the kind you deserve." I stood there, paralyzed. It felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. My own mother, my mother, was pushing my fiancé into the arms of my brother. Fury surged through me like a wildfire, scorching every thought in its path. I wanted nothing more than to storm in, to unleash everything burning inside me. But I held back. I needed more proof, more clarity. Then Lauren said something else, and it hit me square in the chest. "He doesn't say much, but it's nice having someone to talk to about the little things," she said. "Wyatt thinks I seem a little isolated sometimes." That was the final blow. I walked into the room, tension coiled in every step. The moment they saw me, my mother's expression shifted into that fake brunch smile she used for neighbors, tight and empty. Lauren looked like she'd seen a ghost. "So this is what planning a wedding looks like," I muttered, low and bitter. Mom rose to her feet like she was about to deliver some grand monologue, her posture stiff with purpose. "Somebody had to be up front with her, Samuel," she said coolly. "You're barely around. Wyatt can offer her the kind of support you won't." My throat clenched, the words clawing their way up. "Do you hear yourself?" I asked, my voice rough. "You honestly believe that's okay?" I took a step forward. "You're really sitting here, pushing my fiancé toward my brother, and acting like that's normal?" Lauren stepped in fast, panicked, eyes darting. "Samuel, I didn't mean, this wasn't—" "Nora's been putting things in my head," she added quickly. "But it was just conversations. Just messages, I swear. Nothing else." I locked onto her eyes, voice cold as stone. "Let me see." She blinked. "What?" "Your phone," I repeated, unsteady but unwavering. "If it's innocent, show me your texts with Wyatt." Her grip on the phone tightened. That was all I needed to see. Mom interjected sharply, her tone slicing the air. You have no right to demand her phone. That's controlling behavior. Wyatt respects women. He knows how to treat them. He has boundaries. Boundaries. The word echoed like a joke. This was the same woman who used to read Dad's emails like she was checking the weather. I didn't answer. I just turned and walked out, shaking all over. Lauren followed me into the driveway, crying, words tumbling out in fragments. I didn't mean it. Your mom got in my head. She said I should delete his number. It didn't mean anything. But the damage was done. She'd revealed everything. How easily she let my brother become an option, guided by my mother as if it were some twisted strategy. Back at the house, my phone showed 6 missed calls from Wyatt. One text. We need to talk, bro. I let out a short, humorless laugh. Then came Mom's call. I didn't answer. Her voicemail was smooth and condescending. Samuel, don't be dramatic. Lauren's still a good woman. Wyatt was just looking out for her. Don't destroy something meaningful over your insecurities. Insecurities? She practically engineered the whole thing. Then Dad called, trying to play peacemaker with his usual soft tone. Son, you know how your mother is. She says things without thinking. Maybe, don't give up on Lauren just yet. But I was done. That night, Lauren took the guest room, saying she needed space to clear her head. I almost laughed. Space to text Wyatt, more like. And in the days that followed, the unraveling sped up. Lauren turned distant. She was out more. Friends, she said. Meanwhile, Mom wouldn't stop sending guilt-laced messages. You're throwing away something good because of paranoia. Don't let your fear ruin your future. I hovered between ending it then and there, or digging until I had absolute proof. Then Thursday came. Lauren said she was meeting up with her old friend Abigail for drinks. But something was off. She dressed differently, went heavier on the perfume. One I remembered Wyatt once complimenting. My chest tightened. Rage stirred again. And so, I did what I'm not proud of. I drove to Wyatt's building and parked where I wouldn't be seen. Sure enough, there was Lauren's car. Heart pounding, I waited. 20 minutes passed. Then, through the ground floor window, I caught sight of them, curled up close, watching something together, casual and cozy, like a couple at home. I felt nauseous. I marched to the door and slammed my fist against it. They opened it looking flushed and startled. Wyatt wore one of those too-tight shirts he liked to flex in. Lauren was in the outfit I'd bought her for her birthday. How long? I asked, barely keeping control. Wyatt raised his hands like I was about to lunge at him. Just calm down, man. We can talk. I didn't blink. How long? I repeated. Tears welled in Lauren's eyes. 2 months, she whispered. It just happened. You were never home. And Wyatt, he understands me in ways you don't. Nora said. I laughed, bitter and loud. Nora said, so you're calling her Nora now? Like your teammates in some sick scheme? I turned to my brother. You, my own brother. I can't believe this. I shook my head. You two are made for each other. Wyatt stepped in like he was guarding her. Don't talk to her like that, he snapped. You weren't there for her. She came to me because she needed someone. Needed someone? I said, my voice like broken glass. So you gave her what? Comfort? Support? You helped her toss everything we built like it meant nothing? He came at me, fists flying, Wyatt, in his usual form, charging ahead with fury instead of thought. I intercepted his swing, grabbed his forearm mid-strike and shoved him hard. He tripped over the edge of the weight bench and crashed backward into the couch. You spineless bastard, I hissed. You try to sneak off with my fiancée, and now you want to throw punches because I dared to call you on it? I didn't wait for a reply. I pulled out my phone, found my mother's contact, and tapped the speaker icon. Samuel? Her voice came through, tired and annoyed. Why are you calling this late? No build-up, no hesitation. Tell me something, Mom, I said, my tone frigid. Why are you so proud of Wyatt creeping around with Lauren behind my back? There was a pause, then a low, unsettling chuckle. Go ahead, tell him, she muttered to someone nearby. Then, turning back to me in that syrupy, condescending tone she saved for lectures. Honey, I tried to warn you. The next words scorched like acid. Wyatt suits Lauren better. She needs someone who's around, someone who brings her passion. You're always buried in work, just like your father was. I ended the call without another word, stuffed the phone in my pocket. That night, my phone lit up with family chat notifications. Mom already rewriting the story, claiming I had attacked Wyatt unprovoked. Later, Dad rang. His voice carried that forced calm he always used when he didn't want to pick sides. Son, he began carefully, Nora's just looking out for Lauren's happiness. Maybe you're taking this too far. Too far? My brother slept with my fiancée after our mother played matchmaker behind my back, and I was the one overreacting? The following day, while I was drowning in spreadsheets at the office, Lauren returned to our place. She packed her things, some of which I had bought, and left her engagement ring on the counter like it was nothing. A small, folded note rested beside it in her tidy handwriting. I never wanted to hurt you. I hope someday you'll forgive me. That was it. That was all she had to say. 2 years of love and promises, discarded for a guy whose greatest accomplishments were a six-pack and an overpriced shelf of protein powder. That evening, Mom called again, this time smug. Don't make this harder than it is, Samuel. Wyatt and Lauren are happy. Accept it. You'll find someone else. I felt fury crawl through me like ice, not explosive, but calm, focused. They expected me to play along, to show up at holidays and act civil, while my ex-fiancé and my brother played house across the table. I was supposed to quietly step aside, become the cautionary tale, the workaholic who couldn't keep a woman. You have no idea what you've done, I said, voice low. She scoffed. Oh, stop. I did what was best, for Lauren, for the family. Wyatt is who she was meant to be with. Click. She hung up. I stood motionless, heat pulsing through my veins. The betrayal hit like a slow burn, spreading deeper with every breath. Over the following weeks, the news made its way through the family. Mom made sure everyone knew. Wyatt and Lauren were meant to be. She threw dinner parties, praised their connection, and acted like none of it was remotely shameful. Dad, true to form, said nothing. He faded into the background, neutral as always. But my sister, living halfway across the country, called, outraged. She told me her couch was open if I needed a place to escape. I don't know how to even begin to handle this, I admitted. They're flaunting it. Wyatt texts me like we're still friends. Lauren's posting cryptic crap about following your truth. And Mom? She practically cheers them on. She didn't hesitate. You can't fix this, but that doesn't mean you have to let it slide. Do what you need to do. Her words stuck. That's when the guilt died, and the heartache with it. What remained was sharper, colder. A new version of myself began to take shape, one that wouldn't roll over. I got to work. Wyatt had a fitness brand online, selling programs, shakes, supplements, always bragging about his grind and how self-made he was. But my friend Philip had a different perspective. He's cutting corners, Philip told me. I've seen him repackage expired powder in his garage. The smell's rancid. That lit a fire in me. Finally, an opening. I began collecting receipts, screenshots from his socials boasting about under-the-table sales, posts in private forums hyping dodgy exclusive blends, tax evasion hints all over the place. And then I turned my focus to Mom. Nora loved her image. Top-tier real estate agent, always flaunting her awards. But I noticed something fishy. Reviews from accounts with weird names, no profile pictures, barely any activity. Fake reviews, sock puppets. I didn't act yet. Just documented, sorted, built the file. If they were willing to dismantle my life, I'd return the favor, cleanly, legally, and with precision. One Sunday, Dad suggested a family sit-down, a peace offering, he called it. Said we needed to clear the air. I agreed, not because I had hope, but because I wanted to see how they'd play their hand. When I arrived, Mom stood stiffly, arms crossed and scowl locked in place. Wyatt and Lauren sat side by side on the couch, smug and comfortable. Dad lingered near the doorway, awkward and uncertain. "Okay," Dad started, voice shaky. "We need to talk. Samuel, your anger is starting to fracture the family." Mom waved him off. "I'll handle this," she snapped. She faced me with all the warmth of a glacier. "Your father and I believe it's time you stop clinging to the past. Lauren chose Wyatt. That's her right. You should focus on your job, or find something to distract yourself." She didn't even pretend to feel sorry. And that's when I knew, beyond all doubt, that none of them saw it coming. They thought I'd roll over, that I'd bury myself in work and let them write the narrative. They were wrong. "You'll move on eventually." Her words were soft, almost tender, but I caught the bitterness beneath them. I studied her expression, the corners of my mouth lifting into a sardonic smirk. "So that's it?" I murmured. "I'm supposed to smile and nod while my fiancé ditches me for the shinier version of me, my own brother, and we all pretend it's no big deal?" Lauren looked away, something flickering in her eyes, guilt, maybe, but she masked it quickly. "Samuel, you were never around. You lived at the office. I felt like a ghost in your life. Being with Nora and Wyatt opened my eyes. I never planned for it to unfold like this. I regret the hurt, truly. But this is where I belong now." Wyatt leaned back, his posture reeking of arrogance, arms crossed over his chest. "Let's be honest, man. If you'd actually been present for her, none of this would have happened." My fingers clenched involuntarily. "Oh yeah? And you think I forgot all the sneaky whispers? The way you leaned in close when you thought I wasn't paying attention?" He straightened, chest puffed in that familiar way, his go-to move whenever he wanted to dominate the room. "You better watch yourself," he warned, voice low. "I won't stand here and let you talk to me like that." I kept my voice steady and cool. "I'll say exactly what I want. You both made your choices. Don't stand there acting like your hands are clean." Before things could spiral further, our mother's voice cracked through the tension, sharp and commanding. "That's enough. Wyatt isn't wrong." She turned to me, disappointment etched deep into her frown. If you had been the kind of partner Lauren needed, maybe she wouldn't have looked elsewhere. Working non-stop doesn't make you a martyr. A bitter chuckle slipped from my throat. "Oh, that's rich, Mom. I was out there building a stable future while the rest of you were chasing clout and compliments. No, I don't sparkle on social media, but at least I have something all of you gave up: dignity." The silence grew thick. My father hesitantly stepped in, trying to soothe the room. "Let's all calm down." "Save it, Dad," Wyatt snapped. "You're the reason Samuel turned out to be such a weakling." Time seemed to stall. A flicker of pain flashed behind Dad's eyes. He opened his mouth to respond, but I beat him to it. "I've had enough," I said, slowly stepping back, a half smile playing at my lips. "You two deserve each other. Good luck sorting that mess out. And Mom, keep telling yourself this family isn't crumbling." Before Wyatt could spit more venom or try something physical, I turned and walked away. Dad called after me, but I didn't pause. The following morning, I made my move, quietly, efficiently. An anonymous tip went out to the state's health authorities. I flagged Wyatt's gym for repackaging expired supplements and selling them as new. I attached screenshots from his own posts, bragging about undeclared cash deals and shady hustles. But I didn't stop there. I filed a separate report with the local real estate board about Nora. Suspiciously perfect reviews, too many 5-star ratings. A tech-savvy friend of mine traced the IP addresses. Most came from one device. Philip, my friend, eyed me warily as he watched me compile the evidence. You really want to go this deep? I nodded, jaw locked. They burned everything I built. Now they can watch theirs collapse. Things fell apart quickly. Wyatt lost his trainer certification. Rumors swirled. His gym dropped him like dead weight. He lashed out online, blaming jealous nobodies. Mom wasn't subtle either. Passive-aggressive posts about bitter people desperate to sabotage others. Whispers flew at family gatherings. No one could prove anything, but the doubt lingered. Wyatt's clients disappeared. His income tanked. Eventually, he couldn't cover rent and had to crawl back into Mom's house. Nora? The real estate board found more than fake praise, rushed closings, skipped inspections, ethical breaches. Her license was put on probation, and clients dropped her in droves. Her once polished social media turned chaotic, ranting posts and vague accusations. As for Lauren, well, the glow around Wyatt faded fast. No more money, no more trips, no fanboys singing his praises. She began to realize what she'd thrown away, the comfort, the consistency, the full fridge. About a week later, her name popped up on my screen. Samuel, I'm sorry. Everything's falling apart. I didn't mean for this. Can we talk? I typed one word. Busy. Then I followed it up. Hope he's everything you dreamed of. And blocked her. Dad, always hoping for reconciliation, extended an invitation to dinner. The nerve of it. Still, I went. Composed, collected, ready to show them who I'd become. I'd just landed a promotion. I was a supervisor now, better pay, company vehicle. But I didn't walk in alone. Zara came with me, a savvy, no-nonsense receptionist from the gym. She knew the whole story. She agreed to tag along for support, and maybe a bit of theater. As we stepped into the house, the atmosphere turned icy. Wyatt's glare was enough to freeze air. It only grew darker when he saw Zara on my arm. Lauren lingered beside the kitchen island, anxiously rotating her wine glass, her eyes darting between me and Wyatt like she was tracking lightning in the distance. My mother thudded plates onto the table with exaggerated purpose, trying, unsuccessfully, to feign calm. Samuel, she said stiffly, voice stretched taut, you brought someone with you. I wrapped an arm around Zara's waist. Yeah, this is Zara. She's been keeping me great company. Zara gave a charming, measured smile, but there was a spark in her gaze, like she was ready for the explosion she sensed brewing. Dad cleared his throat. Let's sit. There's plenty to talk about. We gathered around the familiar dining table, its surface marked by years of family meals, and now tension. The silence was almost unbearable. My mother forced a smile so tight it looked painful. You're looking well, Samuel, she said, her tone brittle. I heard about the new position. I gave her a wry smile. It's true. Got promoted to supervisor. Bigger paycheck. Company vehicle. Nice to finally shed the drama. Wyatt's jaw clenched, but he said nothing, his fingers turning a glass of water round and round. He looked diminished in his worn-out sweatpants, a ghost of the guy who used to flaunt luxury condos and fitness sponsorships. Lauren offered me a tentative glance. That's really great, she mumbled. Zara jumped in smoothly. He earned it. Works harder than anyone I know. Funny how some people only recognize worth after they've already lost it. The air turned colder. After a pause long enough to feel deliberate, my mother pivoted to Wyatt. And, how's the job search? Any leads? He let out a dark laugh. Not exactly. My license is suspended for 2 years, thanks to a backstabber. His eyes locked onto mine. Know anything about that, brother? I raised an eyebrow. You think I've got time to monitor your shady side gigs? I'm too busy building a real future. He slammed his hand on the table, making the silverware jump. You wreck my name and act innocent? You're such a fake. I know you tipped them off about the supplements. I met his fury with calm precision. If your business was above board, there'd have been nothing to expose. Don't blame the messenger. That's enough, Mom barked. Both of you, stop. You're still family. Then, turning toward me, she snapped, "Samuel, apologize. You had no right meddling in Wyatt's life." I laughed once, dry and sharp. "Meddling? Like when you accidentally introduced my fiancé to your favorite son? Consider this karma." Lauren's voice shook. "Samuel, I didn't mean for that to happen. I felt so alone. And Wyatt—" Zara cut her off, voice cool and firm. "Spare us the guilt trip, Lauren. You made your move. Now own it." That shattered whatever control Wyatt had left. He lunged across the table, knocking over a glass. Zara gasped and pulled back. I shot to my feet, ready. His punch missed me completely as he stumbled, his momentum sending him crashing forward. My dad tried to catch him but was too slow. Wyatt's face smashed into the edge of the coffee table with a sickening crunch. Blood poured from his nose. "You maniac!" my mother screamed, pointing at me. "Look at what you've done!" I stepped back, stunned. "Me? He attacked me, remember?" Dad's face turned crimson, veins bulging in his temples. "That's it. I'm done. Everyone out." He gestured sharply. "Nora, get him cleaned up. Lauren, help. Samuel, Zara, maybe it's best you leave." Zara and I grabbed our coats. Lauren trailed behind, openly crying. "This isn't what I wanted," she said, her voice breaking. I stared her down, voice like ice. "You made your bed, Lauren. Now lie in it." And with that, we walked out, Mom's frantic instructions trailing behind us like smoke from a fire. The days after that dinner felt like dominoes falling into place. Wyatt's injury? A minor fracture. But that was just the beginning. Inspectors started poking around his garage and uncovered expired stock. His supplement hustle, already sketchy, buckled under the scrutiny. Ex-customers took to social media, sharing horror stories. Some claimed his formulas made them sick. His name got blacklisted by every reputable gym in the city. And Mom? Her pristine public image started cracking. Positive reviews vanished, flagged as fakes. A rival agency released a concerned exposé about phony testimonials. The implications obvious. Nora's name was mud. Her agency dropped her. Sure, she still had Dad's inheritance to cushion the fall, but her career? It was done. Lauren tried to stick around, clinging to Wyatt. But soon, reality sunk in. The bills didn't stop. The job offers never came. She was left with a bitter ex-trainer whose charm had long since worn off. Eventually, she started airing her complaints about his temper, his paranoia. Then the calls started. 19 missed calls in one morning, and a voicemail. From Wyatt. "Pick up the phone. Don't be a coward. I know it was you who turned on me. Don't act like you're innocent. You don't turn your back on family." Lauren reached out, said we needed to have a conversation. "I'm sorry," she wrote. "I miss you." Mom's been calling too. "Samuel, this can't keep going. You're tearing us apart. You got Wyatt fired. You trashed my reputation. Why? Just to be cruel?" I let the phone vibrate until it stopped. I scrolled through their texts with a bitter smirk tugging at my mouth. The same people who used to ridicule me, who treated me like I didn't belong, now they were desperate. Dad messaged again, said he wanted to talk, man to man. Curiosity got the better of me, so I went. Found him sitting alone in the living room. The others, Mom, Lauren, Wyatt, were whispering in the kitchen, scheming, no doubt. Dad looked worn down, like the years had finally caught up with him. "Son, I should have stood up for you more," he said. I shrugged like it didn't matter. "Don't try the guilt angle, Dad. I'm doing just fine on my own." He exhaled slowly, rubbing at the weariness on his face. "Your mom's the one who pushed Lauren toward Wyatt. But what you're doing now, it's breaking them. Emotionally, financially. Is that what you wanted?" I stared him down. "They tried to destroy me. All I did was stop shielding them from the fallout." He pressed his hand to his forehead like he was physically in pain. "Your mother's about to lose everything. Wyatt could be in serious trouble if his clients take this to court. Lauren's barely holding it together. Doesn't any of that matter to you? I let out a dry, humorless laugh. You want me to feel bad for the people who blew up my relationship? Lied to me for months? Mocked me behind my back? This isn't payback. It's balance. The kitchen door creaked open. Mom stepped in first, arms folded tight. Wyatt followed, face still bandaged. Lauren trailed behind, eyes red. Mom's voice was sharp. This ends now. You're going to fix what you broke. Or else... I cut her off. Or else what? You'll punish me for telling the truth? I turned to all of them. If Wyatt had nothing shady going on, the inquiry would have cleared him. If your real estate business was legit, no one would be filing complaints. This disaster, it's yours to own. Wyatt's fists clenched. His eyes burned with rage. You think you're better than me? Just because you've got some damn job in construction? Got promoted and suddenly think you're something? I gave him a slow, mocking grin. Better? Maybe not. But smarter? Clearly. Lauren stepped forward, her voice trembling. Samuel, I owe you an apology. I see things clearly now. Your mom, she played me. Mom turned on her instantly. Don't you dare pin this on me, she snapped. You were the one looking for someone stronger. You chose Wyatt. We had an understanding. Lauren looked stunned, tears gathering. You kept telling me Samuel wasn't reliable, that I deserved more. I didn't know what I was doing. My tone dropped, sharp and cold. A misstep? That's how you spin it now? You lied. You stole from me. You whispered behind my back with my brother. You laughed about it. With her. Lauren broke, covering her mouth with her hand. Wyatt turned on her, his voice harsh. You agreed to it. Don't pretend you didn't know what you were doing. Enough, Mom snapped. Both of you. Her eyes locked on me. This is your fault. You're tearing everything apart just because we found joy without you. Joy. I almost laughed at that. They called this mess joy, crushing debt, disgrace, and desperation. I slowly turned to Dad. I didn't show up for a lecture. I just wanted to say it face to face, he said. I'm done. Don't call. Don't message. Don't expect anything else from me. Wyatt shouted as I turned to leave. Rot in hell, you cold bastard. I looked over my shoulder, my expression unreadable. I've already lived there, thanks to you and Mom. Now it's your turn. I walked out as their voices erupted behind me, chaos spilling into the hallway. The next day, a friend filled me in. Wyatt had gone door to door, begging for financial help, but once word of his mess got out, every door slammed shut. Lauren was job hunting far from town, trying to escape the fallout. Mom's business deals? Crumbling one after another. And me? I was climbing. I poured every ounce of anger into my work. People respected me more with each passing day. Adversity forged me into something stronger. I became the man they said I never could be, just not for them. I was building something lasting, something untouched by their shadows. A week later, Lauren emailed me. A digital confession, really. You were always solid, she wrote. I was blind. Nora poisoned my thoughts. Wyatt isn't who I believed. I didn't finish the message. I just deleted it. Some might call me the villain here. Let them. Maybe they had a point. I confronted them with facts and truth, staying within the lines of the law. But let's be real. Vengeance was the fire that kept me going. I didn't just want to expose them. I wanted to watch them fall, and I did. Does that make me the villain of this story? Maybe it does. But how else was I supposed to respond after my own mother handed my fiancé to my brother like it was some kind of perverse gift? Wyatt took something that never belonged to him. Lauren gave up her morals for the illusion of a man with more power. So sure, I leaned into the role they handed me. I became the monster in their narrative, and seeing their world, built on lies and manipulation, collapse, that was justice I could live with. They wanted strength, I said to Philip one night, beer bottle in hand. So I showed them what strength really looks like. He chuckled and clinked his drink against mine. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is letting them self-destruct, he replied. It's been months since I made my final move. Wyatt? He's out of the fitness game for good. No clients, no gym, and a 2-year ban from personal training. My mother's real estate empire? Crumbling fast. Her broker dropped her. The office shut down after a failed inspection, and now the lawsuits are piling up. As for Lauren, she vanished from the internet entirely, probably running from the rumors she knows are coming. Even my dad's starting to open his eyes. He pulled me aside the other day, said he's seriously considering leaving her. He didn't say much, just that being around Nora feels like drowning. I almost felt sorry for him, but that's his battle, not mine. I walked away from that apartment. Too many ghosts lived in those walls. The new place? It's bigger. Finally enough space for a proper office. The promotion came through, and I've been seeing Zara, the front desk girl at the gym who can't stand guys like Wyatt. She's not flawless, but she's real. That's more than enough for me right now. Do I regret tearing it all down? Sometimes. But then I remember walking in on Lauren in Wyatt's bed, or the sound of my mother laughing while justifying their betrayal. Some wounds go too deep to ever fully close. They say every villain believes they're the hero. I don't need to be either. All I did was take down the people who deserved it. My scheming mother, my treacherous brother, and the woman who chose betrayal over love. And truthfully, I sleep like a rock. They wanted a strong man. Well, they got one, just not the version they expected. This story has come to an end. What's your opinion? Share it in the comments, my friend. And if you liked this story, check out other exciting videos on my channel. I'll say goodbye until the next video. See you!